Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will explain why right now is the perfect time for you to build an alt army and why with these different alts you will be able to make quite a lot of gold pretty easily and by doing almost nothing in the WoW within. So just before I start diving into today's video, I just want to apologize because I know the sound is not going to be really good. I'm in a very tiny room and there's quite a lot of echo, but hopefully it's not going to be too much of an issue. So first, let's talk about why having a bunch of alts would be good for you in order to make some gold in the war within. And here, the main answer is because of these two professions right here, alchemy and tailoring. These two professions are very interesting because they offer some recipes that have cooldowns. And so it means that you will only be able to craft a certain amount of these different items per day per character, and after that you're locked out, so you won't be able to craft more. And so it creates kind of a scarcity around these different materials that are usually very interesting. And so the more alts you have with, for instance, alchemy, the more you will be able to craft some of these different materials on all of them. And so this is why having a bunch of alts with these two professions is going to be really profitable. So on alchemy, you have all these different items right here, as you can see. So you really have quite a lot of them. And again, each time you have a new alt, you will be able on these new alts to also have new cooldowns in order to craft even more of these different items. And then for tailoring, you have these two items right here, the Dawn with Bolt and the Dusk with Bolt. And these different items are going to be really interesting because as you can see, for instance, with the Dusk with Bolt, you will need it in order to craft the new 38 slot bag and also a bunch of other really good items. And so here again, remember, for instance, on one character, you will only be able to craft 10 per day. And so it means that if you only have this character, it's going to limit a lot the amount of gold you can make with these different materials. But if you have 5 or 6 of these different characters with tailoring, you will be able to craft 60 of them per day. So this is really something that, in my opinion, is a really good strategy in order for you to make some gold pretty passively. Also, two important things to remember is, of course, the fact that these different materials are region-wide. And so it means that usually just by posting them on the auction house, you will be able to sell them in a few minutes or maybe a few hours maximum. And so you're not going to have to struggle to sell these different items. Of course, you can also use these different items to craft the different like maybe bags and other armor pieces yourself. And another very important thing, of course, to remember is also the fact that you don't need to be level 80 in order to craft all these different items. You will simply have to go to Dornogal, learn the new profession with the War Within, and then to get enough knowledge points in order to unlock the different sub-specializations that are needed. So here, for instance, as you can see, for tailoring, you will need to unlock from dawn until dusk, and then the dusk with tailoring or the other one. And then for alchemy, you will need to go here and unlock thaumaturgy. So this is something that will definitely take a little bit of time. But again, once this is done, you really just have to log in on these different alts, craft all the different cooldown materials, and then you can log out. For sure, you can always decide to, for instance, try and also get a few of the different resourcefulness, multi-craft, and these other stats, but this is not needed because again, the main way you will make some gold is by having multiple alts that can actually craft all these different items. So if this is your strategy and you really want to use your alts in order to make some gold with these two professions, remember that if you're creating a goblin, you will benefit from this racial ability, which will basically grant you 5 skill points for alchemy, which is really useful. And then you have the same for tailoring with Cultiran and you will get 2 additional points. So just something to consider as well when you're creating your alts. Now let's talk about why right now is a good time to level up some of your alts and how you can do it as fast as possible. So in my opinion, one of the easiest ways is definitely through the Mr. Panera Remix event. This is something you will be able to do until the release of the War Within. So the way you do it, and this is personally my favorite technique, is by simply creating a new character, a time runner that will be level 10. Then you just want to level up to level 25. The easiest is simply by doing a bunch of dungeons. You can use the research group in order to do all these different dungeons. And then when you arrive at level 25, you want to start doing the different raids. You will only be able to do Mogushin Bolts at the beginning. And when you're doing these different raids, you want to remove auto loot, and then you want to avoid getting the bonus experience from the bosses, and you want to get everything else, especially the threads of experience that will allow you to get more bonus experience from your cloak. So that way, normally after a few days, you will be able to have access to more and more raids in both normal and heroic difficulty. And every day you can do these different raids. And of course, next to that, you also have all the different daily quests that you can get from the different markets where all the vendors are located. And after maybe you've reached like 600 experience bonuses on your cloak or 700, you can go to your mailbox, and here normally you will receive all your different bonus experience, and just by collecting them, you will be able to reach level 70 in no time. So this is something that at least for me worked pretty well, and I'm definitely going to do that in order to level up a few more alts. But of course, you have many other ways to level up throughout this event. And so just choose the way that suits your needs the most, and especially the one that you enjoy the most. And normally through this event, you should really be able to level up alts super, super easily. So you might also want to wait until next week when the PrePatch will launch on July 23rd, simply because as you can see, the XP requirement will be nerfed drastically. So from level 1 to 10, there's not a lot of differences, but then from 11 to 50, you will have a reduction in XP needed from 15 to 18%, then 35% from 51 to 60, and then from 61 to 70, 75% of reduction. So it means that you will be able to level up way, way, way faster. And I believe this is something that will also work for time runners, so you can still do it through the Mr. Panaya Remix event. So this is really something, again, that I would recommend you to do during this period, because it's going to be super fast to level up all these different alts. And whether you want to use them for gold making purposes or for other purposes, this is a really, really good time to do so. Another important event that I want to highlight, and that will probably be good for you to level up some alts as well, is the Timewalking event. So right now you have one available, as you can see, but especially here from the 6th to the 13th of August, you will have another one available. And so you will be able, again, to level up some alts pretty easily. You will need to be level 45 minimum, but still, after that, it's going to be pretty fast by just doing all the different dungeons in Timewalking difficulty. And so another good moment to level up alts. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Of course, there's plenty of other ways to level up alts, and you can do it, for instance, through the Chromie time by just doing normal dungeons and other type of things. So really make sure to just do what you really enjoy in the game. But if you want to make some gold easily in the War Within just by doing these few crafts a day, this is going to be a really, really good technique for you. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you all a good day. Bye!